Hey everybody out there, this is E.T. You're tuned to a video edition of the TEIJG podcast with Teaching English in Japan Guide. The original title was Teaching English in Japan Guide podcast, but now it's kind of like Tony, Eric, T-E-I-N, J Japan, goddamn, that's what it sounds like. Something like that. Anyways, I thought I'd push out an episode. Pretty sure Tony's actually in Australia now, or on the way, or packing, or something. Definitely couldn't do a podcast. Find out later what's up with him, what happened in Australia, his feelings of heading back. Well, he's only vacation this time. Probably on his vacation he'll make some decisions as well, if he's gonna hang out longer in Japan, or is he gonna pack it up and head home, or whatever, who knows. Anyways, this podcast kind of has a topic. If you hear me rustling around, I'm trying to get my toll money ready, because I'm getting ready to take the highway into Fukuoka City, and I decided to go ahead and shoot some audio. I was gonna just record it, not shoot some video. I was just gonna record audio, but figured out I got my iPhone mounting system, which is rubber banded to the rearview mirror and all that jazz. Okay, so the topic of today is: do you need a degree to teach in Japan? And I kind of answered it a little bit on the FAQ boards of TEIJG.com. You can head over there and get a little answer to it, brief answer, and I'm gonna I'll probably go a little bit everywhere, so you just gotta have to stick with me on this one. Who knows? I don't even know which direction I'm gonna go, but basically I am from the U.S., so for me, teaching in Japan, the easiest way for me to do that was to actually get a 4-year degree. So back in the day, I'd already finished, 2.5 years of college courses and stuff like that. But it took me. Let me rephrase that. I had an associate's degree, and I was taking classes toward my bachelor's. And then I knew I wanted to come to Japan, and teaching English was the easiest way to do it. The only problem was I didn't have a degree, so I went ahead and jammed through university. I basically picked the quickest major to finish, and that happened to be sociology, Asian studies. And I finished that in about, I think, I would have to say less than 2 years. So I pretty much went full time, summer as well. So I got my degree, came and taught, and it was a lot easier that I had my degree. Now the question is, do you need a degree? And the answer is yes and no, of course. Yes, it makes it a lot easier because you're not ruled out of some of the jobs out there that require degrees. And the only exception would be for, like, America doesn't have a working holiday visa program with Japan that I know of. I don't think so. But Australia, UK, and New Zealand, and some of those places do, where basically you could get this working holiday visa and have little to no college courses and come hang out for, up to 3 years, basically, I think. And, a lot of Australians did that. They come here, hang out for a year or so, and then they go back and finish their degree, and then a lot of them end up coming back to live in Japan for a while. So. Now, that said, I know people from every country that live here that do not have degrees. For example, Anthony, he has no university degree whatsoever. He's been here for over 10 years, yeah? And he has, I don't want to say he has never had a problem finding a job, but, he's always had a job. So I guess sometimes it's been tight, and especially recently with a lot of the companies going out of business and things like that. But basically, for more than 10 years, he's always had multiple jobs, so it hasn't been a problem. And the one caveat I like to add to this video is that he is living in Japan. That is the key. He is living in Japan. The secret to getting a job in Japan without a college degree is to either get that job before somehow. We're talking about teaching jobs now. Of course, there's other jobs as well that you can get, but most of them do require a degree or some kind of specialty or skill that sets you apart from others. Yeah. Like if you're an IT pro, or you're a coder or programmer, or whatever, you're a freaking awesome wood carpenter, or whatever. There's a possibility to get a job outside of Japan, getting hired into Japan. But if that's not the case, if you're just a regular Joe who doesn't have a college degree, your best bet is to, before you come, make sure you got some money. Save some money, get a part-time job, full-time job, to work your ass off, put some money in the bank. So when you do come here, you come here on a tourist visa or on a studying visa, maybe go to one of those Japanese language schools, and you sign up for a 6-month course, a 3-month course, or whatever. You get to Japan somehow, and you get here, you get situated, maybe you find a place or you share a room or something. But at that point, you don't have a job, and you're not even on the right visa to work, most likely. So you got, there's some issues already, which can be a problem, and can't be. It doesn't have to be a problem. It depends on the situation and what area you're in and things like that. So what some people still do, I guess, is they use the travel visa for 3 months, and they jump over to Korea, or they head to Guam or somewhere outside of Japan, and then they come back and get another 3-month visa. This can't, the customs officer, the Japanese customs officer, doesn't have to let you back in on that tourist visa. And the more you do it, the more questions and things, the more questions you're going to get, and more potentials for them refusing you that visa. You're going to have to, where you stay and why you coming back, etc., etc. So things like that. So that people, I've known people who did that for years. Just jump over to Korea, come back. Jump over to Korea, come back. Jump over to wherever and come back, China, whatever. And then I know other people who started on the travel visa, got here, found a company that was willing to sponsor them, and everything else is history. They've been here for years. Some of them never worked on the degree, Tony, Anthony, and some of them, slowly did correspondence courses or now online courses, things like that, to get their degrees. So yes, it is possible to get a job not without a college degree, but your chances are millions of times better if you're in the country with your feet on the ground, pounding the pavement, because you can easily line up, several part-time jobs. Making the money is no problem. You can get part-time gigs, a couple days here, a couple days there, a couple lessons here, private lessons. You can get enough money to survive and flourish, even, make a lot of money. But your biggest problem is you're trying to get out of that. You're basically illegally in the country, working on a tourist visa or whatever. Even a student visa, you might be able to work a little bit. So, just went through the toll gate, as you can see. But yeah, the problem is you're trying to get to a legal status, basically. Well, I recommend you try to get to a legal status. So that is, I'm driving, I'm going to toll gate, so I'm probably rambling and repeating myself here, but I'm going to keep saying it to drill it into your skulls, guys and girls. So that's the gist of it. Yes, you can get a job without a degree, but it makes life a lot easier if you have one. 4-year degree is the best. 2 years, not so bad, but I know a few people that have like associate's degrees that have been here for a while, and they just show that to their employers, and some of them are like, cool, hey, anything that's postgraduate, is that what it would be? Secondary, tertiary, whatever it is, college level. university and college level credits, basically. And let's see, any other ways you can get here? You can get here not teaching, so finding, if you have some other skill or manage to find another job, or maybe a bar or somebody will sponsor you. But the thing is, when people sponsor you, they're signing the name that they're going to support your ass. So you got to think about it. Would you be willing to sponsor someone that come into a country, and you sign in the dotted line saying, I'll if something happens, I'll probably support, I'll monetarily support this person. That's basically what you're saying. So if you think about it, put yourself in the shoes of schools. Do you choose someone who has a college degree or doesn't have a college degree? Yeah. And the visa also, some visas require degrees. Like I think the humanitarian visa, if it doesn't require it 100%, it's pretty much you almost have to have one for the U.S. humanitarian. But there's of course different situations, but that's basically the thing. So as I mentioned earlier, like some of the ways people come to Japan, they really want to come and check it out, is they sign up for these Japanese language schools. Like there's some in Tokyo that have living facility, or you stay at a gaijin house or whatever for relatively cheap. But you're paying tuition, yeah. So you gotta you gotta have some money before you come. And I believe you might be allowed to work on some student visas for a certain amount of hours, but I mean you can always get around that by teaching private lessons and working part-time hours at schools that not necessarily under the table, but they're just like a contracted worker. They just pay you directly, so you can get around it that way. I know people who've done that, come here to study Japanese as an excuse just to get into the country. I mean, they wanted to study Japanese, but that's the way they got that visa. So when you're going through immigration, when you fly over here, like, oh, you're going to XYZ school, this is the address, it's like, cool, you got a visa. And then, I know people that came for like 3-month summer programs, got in here, got their visa, and then never went to the schools and just hung out, and they've been here for years. So I know people that did 3 months, and then they extended it to 6 and a year, and because they honestly wanted to study Japanese in a classroom environment. So then, if you get to a certain point, you can actually apply to Japanese universities, which a lot of Chinese students and Korean students, I don't know about a lot of Korean students, but definitely a lot of Chinese students will do that. They'll apply to these, senmon gakkos, these community specialty schools, technical schools, and colleges, and sometimes universities as well, but more like smaller colleges that are geared toward. I don't even want to say they're geared toward, but some schools have a lot of international students. It seems like, basically this school is built to house a lot of, not to house, but to educate a lot of students, and they specialize in bringing students from China and wherever. So it's kind of interesting. What else? Let me see. Anything else I can talk about? We're at 13-minute mark on the video. So let me just put myself in not your shoes, in some people's shoes. If I just graduated, or I've been in the workforce, and I'm like, damn, I really want to go to Japan. I don't have a college degree. I might chance it. I might just chance. And if I knew some people, if I listened to this podcast and, researched a little bit and didn't really want to go back to college, didn't have the money, didn't want to waste 4 years just doing it, just so I could come to Japan and teach or just hang out or do whatever, I think I would chance it. I'd probably do like, I'm a little bit safe. I would chance it, but it's safely. I'd probably do like, a 6-month course or a year course at a Japanese language school with the intent of course I would still study, but the intent of getting a job and trying to figure out a way to get a visa. Like I would just hustle it, just do it that way. And but when I came here, it was pretty much when did I come here? I came here in '99, so there was some stuff about Japan and teaching Japan on the internet, but not much. So it just, I didn't really have those options. There was no podcast to freaking listen to. And, I didn't have it. I had a friend that had taught here, but, he had a degree, and he told me he needed a degree, so I just said, okay, let me get a degree. And that's pretty much how I did it. Tony came here, I believe. I can ask him later, but I think he was working at the Hyatt. He wasn't even teaching English. Came in here, was working at the Hyatt hotel, really nice hotel here in Fukuoka. Then after that, he, stumbled into the English teaching thing. Excuse me. But yeah, so yes, you can come here. You don't need a degree, but it sure does make life a lot easier if you have one. If you don't have one, then it's a gamble. You better make sure you bring some money, have a plan B. And I think somebody emailed us. I think it was Joshua. Forgive me if the name is wrong, but he's gonna chance it. He's gonna do it. And there's also other options he was looking at. There's I guess a program in Korea, teaching in Korea, where you can teach and study at the same time to get your degree, and that's pretty cool. I mean, Korea's pretty dope place too. I mean, Japan, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is better. I'm not sure why. I've never actually lived in Korea, but for my little bit of travel to Korea's awesome. I mean, Japan is dope definitely, but Korea's awesome too. So, that was actually one of my options before I tied the knot with the wifey. I was gonna head over to Korea for a couple of years. So that's another option, or other Asian countries as well. So yeah, that's an option. Chance it. Look into other options. There's you could start college or university and then sign up for the study abroad program and just come straight over here and do it over here. There's all kinds of shit. You just gotta look around and research and things like that. But that's 17 minutes of blabbering about this topic. I think you got the gist of it. So finally, do you need a degree? No. Is it better? Yes. If not, and you don't have the ability to get working holiday visas in countries like Australia, New Zealand, UK, and places like that, for Americans it's a lot harder. You just gotta do that travel visa or that student visa, studying the Japanese language, or if you got some kind of skill like internet skill or whatever, try to get hired abroad and brought here. If not, you just got to pound the pavement and just do it, and your chances are a lot better I would say your chances are a lot better in bigger cities. But there's more schools. But then again, some rural towns that have a hard time getting people to stay there and work, they might be willing to sponsor you as well. So look around, the Gaijin Pot, which I don't really like the forums, but there are some jobs there. What is it? Yep, Ohio Sensei has some jobs. There's that whatever ESL Cafe. I forgot the guy's name. And in Fukuoka, there's Fukuoka Fukuoka-now.com. And I'll put some links in the show notes over at teijg.com. Monster.com, just do a search for teaching in Japan and see or Korea or China or whatever, and just see what you can wrangle up. Okay, that's enough blabbering. I'll talk to you guys probably when Anthony gets back from his little vacation to the land down under. Let's see what else. Okay, don't forget, donate. There's some PayPal links, or if you can't donate and you want some stuff from Japan, there's a J-List affiliate over there. You can hook us up. Tell your friends. Whatever. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.